You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content, please welcome our featured guest and repeat offender on Ron Siegel Radio.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Tawny Patrick, Seven Gables. Welcome.
Hey, thank you. It's good to be back.
I gotta ask you this question before we go on, because this is the Millennial and Old Man Show. Do you remember that song, that jingle?
The jingle?
Yeah.
I don't know if I do.
That's normal. So it proves that you are not one of the old people. It's like me. One of the greatest shows of all time. Welcome back, Cotter. So it was a great comedy. I don't even know what year that was. Josh, do you remember that one? I don't think you remembered it either. Okay, so it was a great comedy, and just got to have fun with it. But it does part of our Millennial and Old Man Show. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to... Okay, Josh just told me that show ended in 1979.
Yeah, I was not born then.
You're not born. Okay, so...
No wonder I don't remember it.
Now you know why you don't remember it. Okay, yes, I am old. Oh. Hey, there's always a good reason to celebrate, so let's see what we're celebrating today. I don't even know what Josh has on the calendar for us. International Kangaroo Care Awareness Day. Day of Families. Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. I'm sure you've got to have that one in there. Hey, you love Chocolate Chip Day. I just added the cookies. Okay, chocolate chip. Is that dark chocolate or is that semi-sweet? You know what the dark chocolate, 70%. I don't know if you're familiar with this one. 70% dark chocolate goes great with red wine. I just throw that out there as a public service announcement. So that is a good one right there. And let's see, bring flowers to someone. Wasn't that yesterday? Bring flowers to someone day. And Peace Officers Memorial Day. So just a word to the wise, because when you see some of these, when they say memorial in them, you probably don't want to wish somebody a happy. So it is one of our pet peeves that we talk about on Ron Siegel Radio. So Memorial Day is coming up. And the week before Memorial Day, we try and leave that all for veterans. So if you are a veteran or know a veteran that wants to come and share their story, not their war stories, but maybe they've got a business or something along those lines, I'd like to save that to honor veterans. But when you get to Veterans Day, don't say Memorial Day. I mean, don't say Happy Memorial Day, because it is a day of remembrance. It is not a happy time. So just a little public service announcement right there. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the markets today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 33. S&P 500 is up 99. NASDAQ is up 50. Oil is up another $1.21 a barrel. And the 10-year Treasury, it's up today 3.504. Think about that. The 10-year Treasury all the way up to 3.504. And a lot of that has to do with, obviously, the numbers that came out last week with the CPI report. And I think we beat that one to death because we've been talking about watching May 10th for a long time. And we knew that we would see some better numbers, and that was not the finish of the better numbers. it was the start of seeing better numbers. So we're going to continue to watch those. Next month will probably be even better than that. And hopefully Jerome Powell will catch a clue and will stop increasing the interest rates because we don't need it. Think about this one. PCI came out on Thursday. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, PCI is probably going to be with the headline number when it comes, or headline number when it comes out next month, will probably be in the mid to high threes. So you heard that first here on Ron Siegel Radio. If you're thinking about mortgages, by the end of summer, beginning of fall, mortgage rates will probably be in the low 5% range. Low fives. Does that mean you should wait to buy a house? No. We're going to talk about that a lot today. But hey, let's take a look, finish looking at the markets, because one of them that I like to follow, which is the cause of most everything that we're seeing, oil prices. So, yes, the president doesn't understand this. Did you hear any of the excerpts from the CNN? Yes, I said it, CNN town hall with Donald Trump. The solution for inflation, very, very simple. And unfortunately, our president doesn't understand this. Drill, baby, drill. That was what the president said. And it's pretty simple. Think about this. I know Biden brought down the cost of gas prices after he caused them to double, almost triple. We're looking at gas prices in California right now, according to AAA, $4.80 a gallon. Not fun. The oil producing state of Hawaii is 4 cents cheaper. And they don't produce gas. They get it from California. We ship it over there. But they don't have to pay our extra dollar and change in taxes and fees that we get here in California. Let's see. Josh, you're down at 421 there in Nevada. Of course, Josh, you guys are probably celebrating in Nevada. It was the party. How late did you guys party last night from that win in Edmonton? I bet was it Golden Knights? Is that the name? I never get the name right. Golden Knights going to the Western Finals. So probably a lot of partying in Vegas. Not better than the Raiders, isn't it? Maybe you had to get the management from the Golden Knights to take over for the Raiders. I don't even think Tom Brady's going to help with the Raiders if he buys into them. 421 is gasoline in Nevada. Jody, 467. She's our processor in Arizona. Brittany is one of our loan officers. 335 in Colorado. Really, Britt? But the winner's always going to be our tremendous underwriter, Lori, over there in Louisiana. 307 a gallon. 307. Of course, that's why they call it America. We were talking before we went on air about Montana. 349 in Montana.
Oh, wow.
And we're paying $4.80 here in the formerly Golden State. Okay, well, we don't have much choice. We like our climate. I was listening to the news just as I was heading out to the studio today. And think about this, because they don't get to do this in Louisiana. Josh, you don't get to do this in Nevada. Jody almost gets it in Arizona. But if you are able to do remote work, do you do much remote work?
Sometimes.
Okay.
I do like going to the office, though, because I feel like I can focus better.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But think about this. One of the reasons that we put up with all the crap we put up with in California. Say you like to go to work at a coffee shop. You got a laptop or some sort of computer, tablet, whatever. You go to a coffee shop and work. If you go around the coastal communities today, I think you're looking at in the mid 60s. If you go to inland Orange County or Burbank or some of those areas, you're looking at the 70s. Riverside, I don't know if you want to really go to Riverside, but if you go to Riverside, you're going to be in the 80s. And if you go to Palm Springs, you can get 100. So within 2 hours, you can have any climate you want to have. That's why we're here, right?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It is an amazing place to be and work and live and all those good things. But hey, we're going to talk real estate today. We've got our millennial and the old man, and we're going to look at real estate from two different perspectives. Wonder if we'll have the same conclusions. You'll find out if you stay tuned. We've also got homeowners have incredible equity to leverage right now. How do you leverage equity in real estate? We'll talk about that. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local...
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. Anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's take a look every day at this time. OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual lock rates with consumers across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. Let's take a look and see what rates locked at on Friday. Unfortunately, every one of them were up on Friday. The 30-year conforming, 6.416. Jumbo, 6.563. FHA, 6.406. USDA, 6.411. And the best loan on the market for those that earned it, that would be the 30-year VA loan, 6.104. Every one of them up last Friday. Well, they've been down most of the week, so we understand that. And let's take a look. 10-year Treasury this morning is up 4 basis points. S&P 500 is up 3.44. The mortgage-backed securities are down 8 basis points. Remember, when you hear me talk about the 10-year Treasury and mortgage-backed securities, when you talk mortgage-backed securities, those are always quoted in the price of the bond. So when the price goes down, the rate or the yield goes up. So the 10-year Treasury is up in yield. The mortgage bond is actually, interest rates are up on that as well. And we look to see not just what they're doing, but why are they doing it? That's really the more important number, is why is this happening? The Empire State Manufacturing Survey shows the health of manufacturing sector in New York region was reported at 31.8 for the month of May, well below expectations. Remember, 50 is an even number, so that means it's in contraction. Getting smaller is the idea of what's going on in New York State. Not good news for the markets. And let's see what else we've got happening in the markets. A lot of people are taking action. RSR two-step. Remember that website, RSR two-step. One of the reports that came out was the concept of tappable equity. Black Knight's home equity trend shows that homeowners have an average of $185,000 in tappable equity. What is tappable equity? That means that's the amount of money you can get out of your house, leaving some equity behind in a refinance. And why do I suggest refinancing right now if you've got tappable equity? Well, there's 2 reasons, and it's the RSR two-step. It's very, very simple. What that means is one of the biggest costs if you've got a primary residence, if you're getting a refinance, is cash out refinancing. That's one of the loan level price adjustments is cash out. So my thought is, and what's very common right now, is number one, if you've got debts, well, pay them off. Where credit card debt is over 20% interest right now, auto debt, whatever that is, pay it all off. We're going to get student loans are going to start coming back and having to be paid soon, I think. But pay all that debt off right now with higher interest rates. And remember, in this case, higher is better. So we look at it and we say, okay, well, I told you that on the locks on Friday, conforming loan was 6.416. But what happens if you ask your loan officer, lender, to give you a higher rate and pay for all your fees? That is doable. Why would I say, well, get a higher rate? Well, because remember, one of the other things I told you is interest rates will be lower later in this year. So the second part of the RSR two-step is you take out your equity right now. You might want to set it aside to buy other real estate. Don't tell anybody I told you. FINRA hates that. But take that money out. You might want to buy other real estate, but get your debts paid off and then restructure later on when the loan values are lower, when the loan prices or rates are lower. Why do you get the higher interest rate now? Well, you've got that loan level price adjustment. And yeah, I get people calling me and say, well, why don't I just do it with a HELOC? Well, when you go to take advantage of the lower interest rates later in the year, it's called a cash out refi then too. So take it out now, get your debts paid off, maybe set up that emergency fund, maybe invest in some other real estate. You might even want to buy a new house for yourself or your family and get it all done right now with the higher rate now. It's called a game plan. That's the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So this morning we are fortunate enough, Tawny Patrick is with us from Seven Gables. She's going to, well, I guess you don't really have to play the part of the millennial because you are the millennial.
It's an easy part to play.
Easy part to play, right? So, and you've got the experience in real estate from both the home ownership side and the investor side.
Yeah.
And we're going to go through and look at, we get a monthly market report from our friends over at Keeping Current Matters. And because it's called a monthly market report, they send it to us every month. And we're going to go through the report or part of it. We never get through all of it. And just give our own impressions on it. Some of the areas we might talk about, some we might not. Some of them I might even ask Josh to throw the slide up. And I think he's got it ready there just in case. But the first one, on a quarterly basis, home prices rose as seasonally adjusted 1% in the first quarter. The fact that prices rose slightly in the first quarter is evidence of significant pent-up mortgage demand despite ongoing affordability constraints. And that's according to Doug Duncan, Senior Vice President, Chief Economist at Fannie Mae. Do you think people are really care about the mortgage rates, or is it driving anything to happen?
I think they do, because it drastically affects people's affordability.
Okay.
So the people that, I mean, some people were waiting just because they, on principle, didn't want to pay high interest rates. But some people, they were just priced out because of the high interest rates.
Now, what is high?
Oh, and that's a good question.
When did that one from the millennial
for
perspective?
millennials, I mean, when I graduated college and bought my first home, I think they were about 4%.
4%.
And I remember people telling me like, "Oh, that's a really good interest rate." But I had no context beyond that year,
Sure.
That was when I was first starting out, and I was like, "Oh, 4%, like that sounds good to me." And so when it jumped up to 6-7%, like I had never seen that before. So that felt super high to me.
Right. Okay. So now we're still at, now we're at, in the mid sixes. So does the millennial generation say, okay, I can't buy then? Or is everyone thinking it's going to go back down to the 2s and 3s?
I think people, well, especially millennials, I don't think they understood how much the interest rates affected their payment.
Oh, okay.
So I think they quickly realized that the higher interest rate was going to give them a drastically higher payment. And I do think a lot of them believe it's going to come down in the 2 and 3s again, but they don't know that this was like historic. That had never happened before.
Right. That's a key thing right there. So you start looking at it and saying, okay, well, that's what I'm going to wait for that. And you might be waiting an awful long time.
Yeah.
So, and so have any of them started saying, well, I can't afford where I want to be now because of the interest rates?
Some are looking to move outside of the state.
Okay.
Some are just trying to save up more. Some are waiting for the interest rates to fall.
Just a mix.
It's a mix, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because the old people like me, we look at it. I bought my first house. You're going to laugh. 18%.
That's painful.
Yeah, and you probably know the area. It was right below the Orange County Mining Company.
Nice.
Right out of college. I know. It was, well, you might have been born then. But, we were able to go to the mining company and walk down the hill or stumble down the hill right into our backyard. But 18%.
Yeah.
That's
I hope
high.
we never see that again.
So do I. Something about, but it goes both ways. So the idea 18% is not good because the economy wasn't good.
Yeah.
And 2 or 3% wasn't good because the economy wasn't good.
Yeah. It
Right?
really
So we got
messed
it
us
both
up
ways.
I think it's going to mess us up for a while.
Yeah. A lot of people are spoiled. And then you look at the values. So we talk about that slide that values went up. And okay, so we're looking at 3 sources here. Case-Shiller is showing that we pretty much peaked, or the declines hit their maximum in August. Case-Shiller, FHFA, and CoreLogic all. I like FHFA. Do you follow these 3?
A little bit.
Okay, so I like FHFA just because it's not skewed as much, right? It's only the conforming loan amounts. So the other ones, you get cash buyers in there, and you can get skewed by the high-priced homes, which you're along the coastal area, so you get a lot of the higher price stuff.
Yeah.
So, but FHFA, really, the loan values have really only dropped 0.6% in July and 0.7 in August. Other than that, they've been pretty flat or up.
Yeah.
So now the question becomes, do you hear many people saying, okay, well, I'm going to wait for home prices to come down too?
They're still saying that. Yeah. And I'm trying to show them that data. Like, yeah, the past couple of months, like they've actually been going back up. So it's possible that they could go down further. I mean, nothing's impossible, but from the data that we have, it doesn't look like we're going to see those sustained decreases.
Yeah, not a whole lot of impetus for them going down.
Yeah.
And well, maybe some of them listen to Diana Olick on CNBC, and the next time she gets something right, it'll be the first time. So she's still telling people that she's trying to say, well, it's because of mortgage rates. She doesn't realize that there's economics 101, supply and demand.
Yeah, it's
right?
huge.
In the areas that you're working mostly, do you see a lot of supply?
No, Oh, man, there's nothing for people
Nothing.
to look at.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. 5 months ago, prices were declining on a seasonally adjusted month-over-month basis in 92% of all major U.S. markets. Fast forward to March, and the situation has done a little 180, with prices now rising in 92% of markets from February. That's according to Andy Walden, VP Enterprise Research at Black Knight. So prices are not declining in most markets.
No, and even when my clients were submitting offers on things are going for 100,000 over asking. One of them went for 200,000 over asking.
Was
It's
it because they were priced low strategically, or there was just so many people wanting that property?
There was. I mean, some of them were like on the. It wasn't that they were priced low, but they were the only house in that price range.
Okay.
So it was like there was 40 people trying to get that house, and they kept overbidding it over and over.
Were they financed, or did you ever find out were they financed or were they cash?
A lot of them were cash.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but there were definitely some cash contenders.
I was consulting with an agent last week about a couple properties in Newport Beach, and they said they had multiple offers on each of them. And the agents and the homeowners basically said, we're not going to consider anything unless it's a cash offer.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like we're back to where we were like a year or two ago.
Yeah. And that's the problem. We're going to continue this conversation when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. The millennial and the old man. We talk about this every month. We'll do it again. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at RonIsMyLender.com. That's RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. This segment being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. We're going to leave the real time, Josh, until the next segment if we have time, being that we got through 4 out of our 60 different talking memos here on this in the last segment. So we're going to continue our conversation. Tawny Patrick is with us from Seven Gables Real Estate. I guess I should have the whole right name in there. It's
Sack-and-Stone Team.
Sack-and-Stone Team at Seven Gables Real Estate.
Yep.
Got to get it right. I'm a little slow. Okay, so we're going to go back and continue with our report here. Major change in Fannie Mae's changing their mind. So we were talking in the last segment, if you missed it, sorry. But we were talking in the last segment about real estate value declines. And in March, Fannie Mae said that real estate values for 2023 were going to drop by 4.2%. None of us really believed them. April, they're saying now 1.2% drop. Do you think that's going to happen, or do you think it's that we're going to see them going up? Where's your crystal ball?
From what we've seen, at least in our area, it seems like they're going up.
Seems like most areas. I know that there's a couple of our research sources are saying that we may see a slight decline for the year. But I can't imagine where that's going to come from, because we've got no supply of properties.
Yeah.
People are still getting older. People are still having babies. They're still wanting to get out of mom and dad's basement. They're still getting divorced. They're still going into, there's a few defaults, not a lot.
Yeah.
And we're going into a recession.
Yeah.
So the issue here is, I don't know what the catalyst is going to be for properties to drop when there's nothing available.
People are saying that they're going to die in their home because they don't want to give up their 2-3% interest rate.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so we have to wait for them to die. I'm not going to even go there. Inventory and foreclosure updates. Month's inventory of homes for sale. Wow. I'm just looking at this chart, and we've got the chart here from both during the Great Recession, which is probably your only recession.
Yeah, really.
Okay. And what's going on today. And, it was a buyer's market in 2010. Right now, we haven't seen a buyer's market since maybe 2012, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. Nothing. And mainly because of supply.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to have to shift the metrics, though, for what is that? Just, with the amount of inventory it is, it's like, I don't know if we're ever going to see those levels of inventory again.
Might be tough.
Yeah.
Or it might be a long time from now, just because of, again, some of the people that have those sub 4%, which most people right now have sub 4%, the only reason they might want to move is just because it's too much property.
Yeah.
Right. If you've got somebody that was, got into that sub 4, and, they wanted a 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom house. They wanted a house with an office, and now they're in their golden years, maybe it's too much house for them.
Yeah. Or, a bachelor that bought a,
studio or
1-bedroom condo out of college, and it's like, now he's got a family and needs to buy something bigger.
Could be. Yeah, that's for sure. Adam data, U.S. foreclosure activity continues to climb in the first quarter of 2023. Does anybody believe that? These are the headlines that are out there that people are seeing.
I know. I was just talking to people about this the other day, because they're talking about, there's going to be all these foreclosures coming on the market. But then when you look at the graph of how it compares to back in, 2009, 2010, it's like, okay, perspective.
Right. So I get from our friends, I guess I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm going to. Gets great resources for people like you and myself, are data that we can get from title companies.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I asked one of my friends at a title company, and I'm not going to mention name because I don't want to get them in trouble, about the notice of defaults and notice of trustee sales. And I ask it on an irregular basis. I got the numbers in February for Orange County. The total number of defaults was 499.
Okay.
For the entire county.
Wow.
And April 25th, I asked, because we've got a lot more defaults coming on the market, is what everyone's telling us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're up to a whopping 544. It's not a lot for the whole
Which
county.
is technically increased.
Yeah,
but
it's up 10%.
Yeah, which sounds like, that's a big number, but when you look at the actual numbers, that's not that much.
Well, I did look, and something, because that's one of the problems that we see with some of the folks that we get data from, and the consumer gets data from. And the problem is they get it from people like Diana Olick at CNBC, and they give them such bad data.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked a couple of weeks ago from our friends at Altos Research, and they track every home for sale every week. And the amount of homes available for sale in Anaheim Hills 92807, it increased by 5% in 1 week. Went from 21 to 22.
Yeah.
Right. So there's still no inventory, and it only went up 1, but by mathematics, that was 5% increase.
Yeah. Well, back when the months of inventory were like 2 weeks, and then like, the months of inventory doubled.
Right.
It's like, well, now it's 4 weeks.
Yeah,
Great.
Exactly. So there's still nothing available.
Yeah.
And that's the point when I look at this. So on April 28th, there was 21 homes available for sale, and May 12th, there's 21 homes available for sale.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no change. There's still nothing available to buy. So regardless of what you want to think about these things, there's no inventory.
Yeah.
So these headlines, be careful of headlines, is I guess the bottom point here. U.S. foreclosure filings jumped 22%. So there's the headline from
Yeah.
MSN, right? So in Orange County, we were up 10%.
Yeah.
Still nothing though. So don't be fooled by some of these headlines is the bottom line here. Over 1 million fewer foreclosures in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Right. So think about that as that's where the whole numbers come from. And, so they are up, but 2020 and 2021, I wonder why there was so few foreclosures.
Yeah. No one had to foreclose.
It was a pandemic. They weren't
Yeah.
allowed to.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, maybe private, if you had private loans, you could foreclose.
Yeah.
But a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, USDA, FHA, VA, not allowed to foreclose.
Yeah. I'm really surprised there aren't more than
Really?
what we're saying. Well, because it was so long that people couldn't foreclose. You'd think that all that over the years that they weren't.
But if you think about it, in 2020 and 2021, we had 20% appreciation each year?
Yeah, that's true.
So
I guess they didn't really need to. They could always just sell.
well, either they had their heads stuck in the sand,
Yeah.
or they could call you and you could sell their property and at least get them out whole, or with a little bit of it, save some of their equity, right?
Yeah.
So now those that bought in 2022, they may have a little bit more of a challenge,
Yeah.
right? Because we didn't see a huge appreciation in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And if you bought on a minimum down payment, if you bought with an FHA loan, $1,079,000, I think it is in some areas, right?
Yeah.
So you buy with an FHA loan, you're upside down. And if you're going through that death, default, divorce, lost your job,
Mm-hmm.
you might need to sell, and those might be available for short sale,
Yeah.
right? So,
but are they going to make a huge difference in the prices? Probably not.
no, they're not going to make a huge difference in the pricing, and there's not a lot of them because we didn't have a lot of sales last year.
Yeah.
Right. So, property with foreclosure filings again going from over 900,000 of them in 2010, and under 100,000.
Yeah, we're
now?
under 100,000 right now. It's a huge difference.
So the question becomes, how do you get that information to the millennial? Got to do a TikTok video or something.
Yeah, I actually just filmed a video on this.
Did you?
Yeah.
Now, okay, what platform did you put it on?
I'm actually probably gonna be posting it on Instagram today.
Instagram, okay.
Yeah, on Reels. I'll probably put it on TikTok too. I do both.
Okay, so how do we find you on those?
You know what? My names are different on either one. I gotta fix that.
Oh, that makes it. You incognito or a secret agent or what?
No, well, I think I'm like Tawny OC Realtor, and I think the other one I'm like Tawny the Realtor or something.
Okay.
I gotta fix that.
I was gonna say that makes it kind of difficult to find you.
Yeah.
Okay, so watch for Tawny the OC Realtor or Tawny the Realtor, one or the other, somewhere. But the point is you were on Instagram Reels, and I don't even understand that one, and TikTok, which I understand a little bit.
Yeah, I'm definitely no like social media whiz. I'm learning.
No, but the point is though, that's where the millennials are going to find their information.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right? I mean, you're not putting it on the back page of the register.
Yeah.
I don't even know there is a back page on the register. I'm not sure there's a front page of the register anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got to go to some sort of social media to reach the millennial.
Yeah.
Okay. U.S. foreclosure activity continues to climb in the first quarter of 2023. There were 95,712 U.S. properties with foreclosure filings. During the first quarter of 23, a total of 65,000 U.S. properties started foreclosure. One in every one. So I don't know if you remember this because obviously you're the millennial. One in every 1,459 housing units had a foreclosure filing in the first quarter. I think that we were under like one in every 4.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's
during the Great Recession.
Yeah.
Right. It was, I mean, you could look one way or the other on your block and you knew somebody.
Yeah.
Or you didn't know them. You could, like guys like us, we could find it. No one was out there putting a flag out in front of their house saying, I'm in foreclosure.
Yeah. And that recession was caused by the real estate market too.
Right.
Like this is a completely different scenario.
So speak about that a little bit, because that's a huge point. So we didn't have real estate did not drop because of the recession, right?
Back in 2008.
Right? The recession happened because of real estate.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a big difference. So when
Yeah.
we look and say, okay, well, real estate values dropped by 19.7% because in that recession, well, it was the recession causing it.
Yeah.
Right now, real estate will probably help us out of the recession because we might be able to get more houses on the market. And every time there's a house sold, think about how much economic activity comes from that.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I mean, I had heard one time there was like 1.7 was the factor. So if you had a $100,000 house, there was $170,000 in economic activity because of that.
That's
between, the cost of title insurance and everybody that gets paid from that, and the cost of moving, right?
Yeah.
Trucks and
think about all the
movers.
vendors we have, construction people,
Right.
like so many different people.
Think about all that. Obviously the lenders get paid, and the underwriters get paid, and the loan processors get paid, and the bankers get paid, and the realtors get paid, and the transaction coordinators, and so it's a huge amount of economic activity comes from all this. So the bottom line there is if we get more houses coming onto the market, they're going to be absorbed because people want them.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk, if you think that real estate values are going to drop because of the recession, we're going to talk about that. And if you think interest rates are going to drop because of the recession, we're going to talk about that. I know that we've got some data on that coming up. There's no reason to panic, at least not yet. Foreclosure filings began ticking up in late 2021 after the federal foreclosure moratorium ended, government intervention. The moratorium was enacted in the early days of COVID-19 when millions of Americans lost their jobs to prevent a tsunami of homeowners losing their jobs, according to Claire Trapasso, executive news editor of Realtor.com. Okay, that makes sense, right? So nobody was getting foreclosed upon because you couldn't. We talked about that a little bit. A mild recession starting later this year with a recovery over the subsequent 2 years. Do millennials see that there's a recession coming? Do you hear that from your
Yeah, I do hear it a lot. And it's probably mostly from like the news sources and media that, everyone's always talking about a recession.
Is there a fear of it?
There is. It's interesting because when my generation thinks of a recession, they think about 2008.
Okay.
That's our biggest recession that we've gone through. So that's what they think about. But at the time, a lot of millennials also they were just kind of going into the job market. So it was really hard to find work. So I think they're also worried that, if they are looking for a job, like it's going to be getting a lot harder to be finding work.
That's a whole new perspective that we haven't talked about. So the millennials have that job fear.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so I've got 3 millennial kids, and tells you how old I am. Okay, I get it. So are millennials getting more realistic about income? I know my oldest son thought that he was going to start out with a mid-6-figure job as the CEO of every company.
Really? I don't feel like I had that perspective. I was like, I think my first job out of college, I think I made like $38,000.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, this is great.
Okay. Well, so you were more realistic.
I think I was. And I mean, I guess the people I was around, I didn't really see that perspective from the people that I was with, that they had this unrealistic expectation.
Okay. So your peer group was a little more realistic there.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That's good. So there's not as big a, because my son's finally coming back to realization that, there's not every company is a Fortune 500 company looking to hire him as a 30-year-old or 32, 33, whatever he is.
Yeah.
And pay him a mid-6-figure job.
I do think, I think Gen Z is a little bit more unrealistic than we were, but I'm sure there was some of that with millennials as well.
Okay. So Fed meeting summary, March 2023, given their assessment of the potential economic effects of the recent banking sector developments, the staff's projection at the time of the March meeting included a mild recession starting later this year, with surprise, with a recovery over the subsequent 2 years. So that's coming out of the Fed as well. Does the banking developments, do you hear anybody talking about that in the millennial world?
Yeah. I think just the fear of banks failing, because that's we heard about that
Okay.
before, but I don't think that millennials really remember what happened. They just know that's bad.
It's bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
It's did you remember something called the implodometer?
Implodometer? I don't think so.
Okay. So in the 2008 recession, there was something called the implodometer. And we were looking every day at this, and it was listing all the banks that failed that day, which there was 511 of them.
Wow.
So, we were all watching that to say, okay, who's next?
Yeah.
Especially being in the mortgage world at that time, because a bank that you worked for might be going out of business, right? Or one of the investors or lenders or something along those lines. So just another part of it. How would housing be impacted by a recession? So when we come back, we're going to talk about that one. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And guess what? We're not going to get to the real-time real estate because I talk too much. You can reach me again anytime, 800-306-1990.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Do you own a luxury home or planning to purchase one? If so, your home may be your largest asset, but your mortgage may also be your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team is offering amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates in the 3%, and 15-year rates in the 2s. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com or call me directly. My number is 800-306-1990, licensed under NMLS 217037. Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Again, this segment being brought to you by RSRmoney.com, RSRmoney.com. Hey, if you've got a problem, don't stick your head in the sand. If you've got default, getting divorced, if you see that you bought a house last year and you're not sleeping at night and you need some help on trying to figure out how to resolve that housing issue and not have the foreclosure on your record, give me a call at 800-306-1990. There are always solutions. Continue our conversation. We are chatting this morning. Tawny Patrick, Sack and Stone team at Seven Gables Real Estate, is our guest. She's the millennial. You can tell who the old man is. That's pretty obvious here. So we're having a discussion here on what's going on in this real estate world. And we like to get the two perspectives every month. We get a lot of data from our friends over at Keeping Current Matters. Question, how would housing be impacted by a recession? Bank rate. During a traditional recession, the Fed will usually lower interest rates. They say they're not going to, but they will. This creates an incentive for people to spend money and stimulate the economy. It also typically leads to more affordable mortgage rates, which leads to more opportunity for home buyers. Pros and cons of buying during a recession. Pros are less competition, lower prices, lower rates. Cons, stricter lending requirements, fewer options available, economic uncertainty. Is that going to stop anybody?
I mean, it'll stop people who lose their job, I guess.
That might be a challenging one.
Yeah. But most people, they see the word recession and they think, oh, the economy is doing bad, so that means house prices will go down. But that's not what actually happens most of the time.
So talk about that a little bit, being that we've got a slide right here for
Yeah, we've got a slide. These are the last 6 recessions that we've gone through. And you can see out of the last 6 recessions, only 2 of them have caused home prices to go down. And of those, one of them is, 2008. The other one, it only went down a little over 1%.
Yeah, so if you think that the recession is going to make it easy, easier on the price side, it's not going to have an effect.
Yeah, most likely what usually happens is prices go up because they
Right.
drop the interest rates down, so they become more affordable, and people who are still employed and still have the cash and want a good investment are ready to swoop in, and they're buying the houses.
So you hit a big item right there, because one of the problems that we've had over the last year is affordability,
Yeah.
right? And we're basically, I don't even know if we'll get to the slide on it, but affordability right now is probably the worst it's been since probably right before the Great Recession.
Mm.
Three things go into affordability. So you've got income is one, you've got property values is the second, and interest rates is a third.
Yeah.
Right. So affordability we're seeing that those people that have jobs, their wages are still going up. So
But they just haven't gone up enough with inflation and all that either.
Absolutely. So that's a big issue.
Yeah.
What is the conversation in the millennial world about inflation?
It is everything's more expensive, from the grocery store to gas to childcare. It just feels like we're being squeezed on all sides.
I don't even know if you know this answer, but is there a major change in the price of childcare?
It's outrageous.
Really?
Yeah, it's you can easily spend per child it's probably going to be over $1,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
And we've seen that car payments are now up to on average $800 a month. Childcare is $1,000, and wow, that's a lot. So, does that go into people's thought process of whether to have kids or not?
I think it does. A lot of people, especially Gen Zers, you're seeing more and more that they're not even planning on having kids.
Wow, so that's a problem in a lot of ways.
It's going to be a big problem in the future.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have to worry about overpopulation in the future.
Yeah, that might. So recession means falling mortgage rates. So every one of the last 6 recessions, interest rates have come down. 1981, 5%.
That's a lot. That's a big one.
Although
if it was at 18% to begin with, then
yeah, so went all the way down to 13.
Yeah.
So that was still, but so we're heading into a recession. Most everyone is on the same page with that.
Yeah.
Right. So property values will probably go up. Interest rates will go down. That'll mean affordability will be better. So that'll be good. If you still have a job, you're in good shape. And if you don't have a job or you can't document it, be aware there's something out there called creative financing. A lot of people don't understand that, but there is still creative financing out there. And if you don't understand it, give us a call, 800-306-1990. Unfortunately, I'm old enough that we had to get creative in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Right? When you're, really when you think about it, so I bought my first house and I think it was 83 or 84, somewhere in that range. So there were still houses on the market that were coming on that were from the 70s that had that 7 and 8% interest rate. We're going into 18%. You say, well, how do you afford that? Creative financing.
Yeah.
Right? So right now, when we look at the chart right here, if my math is correct, that's 64% or 65% of the homes are under 4% interest rate. Next slide there, Josh. I think it's slide 22. But what's that? Isn't that 60, 62, 63, something along those lines? Over 60%.
Yeah.
Under 4%. It's gonna take some catalyst to get somebody out of that property.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I just heard one the other day, though. She wants to move to Florida. Right? So just a thought right there. There's and then people have equity.
Yeah.
Still a huge amount of so I know you've talked about it on radio before that you bought up, right? You kept your old one bought up, or did you just buy rental properties?
I bought. So yes, we bought we have our own house and a rental property.
Was the rental property bought as a rental? Or
it was bought as a rental.
Okay, so
yeah.
So the question then becomes: have you considered moving up from where you are now?
Yeah, well, yeah, in the future, because we've got a 3% interest rate on our current house. If we want to move into something bigger, I'm going to do everything I can to keep that property as a rental property.
Sure, because it'll probably cash flow for you.
Yeah.
Why not? So Americans sitting on tremendous equity, 67.6% have paid off mortgage or have at least 50% equity.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thought right there, right?
So a lot of those people, they're going to be able to rent out their house and buy something else.
Which then doesn't help us at all with the idea.
Nope, with no inventory.
No inventory. Okay, so I think we've learned some new stuff here today. I hope you've got some benefits from this. Property values are not going to drop. We don't foresee that. Mortgage rates will. Affordability is going to get better. And if you have a reason to sell, call Tawny. Does that wrap it up?
Yeah, that sounds good.
There we go. So if you want more information on this or anything we talk about, give me a call, 800-306-1990. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.